What's going on, everybody? Hope you're having a good week. So, since it's the first year of the Steam Deck, I thought I would make an important comparison between the Steam Deck and general PC gaming, and that's counting Mac, and exactly why I think the Steam Deck is better than most PC gaming experiences, and just gaming PCs and laptops in general. Now, the first thing that stands out with the Steam Deck platform is the verification system. That is by far the most important feature with the platform. It's pretty much Valve judging and grading all PC games, putting pressure on the developer to actually fix the bugs and general problems their games might have on the platform.
What are you doing, JP?
Just thinking about my game.
Support in total for the PC games has never been faster than on Steam Deck. Now, I have an Alienware X14 with a 3060 and a gaming desktop with an RTX 2070. And even though a lot of the games work on my laptop and gaming desktop, I would say around 65% of my games have permanent issues that have yet to be fixed even after about 10 years. Meaning the developer actually gave up on trying to fix the game for either that model of laptop or any future iterations of gaming desktops. Developers like Capcom have given up on specific titles, let alone Konami and Square Enix, and the Steam Deck is Valve's main console at the moment, meaning all the pressure and focus is on that particular system. For example, I tried playing The Beast Inside on my Alienware and found out the game isn't working for most PC owners. But I tried playing it on Steam Deck and it works perfectly fine. That's going to be the case with most Steam Deck games opposed to general PC games. With PC, you're getting the power, but unfortunately you're also getting the liability and risk. Steam Deck blurs the line between console and PC for your PC games. The verification system is incredibly important to not only let the developer know they have work to do, but also gauge how important a particular game is to a community. Another example, if a game is rated verified, the developer will most likely get more sales than a game that is playable. If a game is untested, that means the game hasn't gotten enough popularity to make Valve aware enough to even test it, which means that developer has a lot of work to do to make that game even better to be marked with any grade.
Do not be sorry. Be better.
And with general PC gaming, I started to become more and more hesitant to play certain niche titles. Even a game as popular as Silent Hill Homecoming doesn't seem to work 100% on my gaming PC. And a more popular title like Guardians of the Galaxy didn't seem to work on my gaming PC either. And that's after going through driver updates and Windows updates and multiple gaming PCs. And usually I would be sort of pissed off about this, but I have the Steam Deck to play all these games and I know that they're most likely compatible if they have that verification grade. So that just gives me peace of mind at the end of the day. And that's something I haven't had with PC gaming for such a long time. That Alienware PC is only a few months old and the incompatibilities are already showing. And you can hold it to the same standard as Steam Deck because Windows 11 is almost 2 years old. It just doesn't seem to matter how expensive the PC parts are. Money can't make the games work. Only the platform, hardware manufacturer, and developers, which takes a lot more time and money than a single piece of hardware to verify them all. The changes the Steam Deck has made already changed so many games, including Resident Evil 5. Capcom finally removed GFWL, which is the Windows Live Service, support for it. Only a year after the Steam Deck's release, they also added split-screen co-op support, and PC gamers have been asking for that for more than 10 years. But of course, recently they add these features so you can have a more Switch-like experience with Resident Evil 5, and that was, coincidentally, the only Resident Evil that was unsupported on Steam Deck. And what do you know, Valve looked at the support page and saw that a lot of feedback and people requested for Resident Evil 5 to be compatible with the Steam Deck because it is not easy to install that game on your Steam Deck initially, but now it's seamless. And I'm pretty sure after I make this video, Resident Evil 5 is going to get a playable grade just like the other sequels. This is a change that's unprecedented. Laptops haven't done that for gamers pretty much since the beginning when we used to use Windows Live.
You have no idea how bad it gets.
But not only did Resident Evil 5 get an update, other Capcom-related titles have received an update as well, and it's because of the Steam Deck. It's just an easier platform to receive notable and concise feedback because you know what kind of hardware most people are going to play that on. Opposed to if you get feedback on an Alienware 14 or 15, they're probably going to have a very different experience based on the feedback alone. Even with laptops that are close in model as an Alienware laptop. And this is not counting if you have an RTX 2060 or 3060 or even a GTX 980 Ti. Those are very different architectures which require very different tweaks. And of course, not all games will work on the Steam Deck. Yes. But if you look at the compatibility list with RTX, it's about 1,500, and that's certified by NVIDIA. But as of today, there are over 8,000 games compatible with the Steam Deck. And usually when a game works with Steam Deck, there are barely any crashes or drawbacks. With RTX, I cannot say the same. Cyberpunk 2077 hasn't crashed on me once on Steam Deck, but within the first week, it crashed 3 times on my gaming laptop and countless times on my rig. And my gaming PCs aren't just a paperweight. I'm using them for editing, but it is cool to start a game on Steam Deck and then resume it on my gaming laptop or desktop if I wanted that kind of option. But I usually end up sacrificing some frames for the comfort and reliability of the Steam Deck. FSR is also more easier to access on Steam Deck, which makes the potential battery life of playing your games on the platform worlds longer than playing on a laptop that has an i7 going full blast most of the time. On a gaming rig or laptop, I'm doing about 10 other things before relying on it for gaming alone. Even gaming PCs with $4,000 specs can't play a good amount of games from the overall Steam library. And games like Batman Arkham Knight seem to be more playable on the Steam Deck than my $2,000 laptop. And it's rated unplayable on the Steam Deck. It crashed probably twice, and that is a whole lot less than it did on my laptop, which is about 5 times more expensive. And the main flaw with those gaming rigs and laptops is the fact that they are Windows based. So that pretty much means that platforms like iNeo and One X Player will have the same, if not worse, compatibility with the Steam library. And I'm not sure why people are even comparing these two. The only thing that seems to be similar are the sizes. And yes, the iNeo is smaller, but it's still Windows based, and it's not exactly built for SteamOS. And I would rather have 10 nightmares than to boot up Windows portably in a travel situation, opposed to just booting up SteamOS right away, going to a verified game that I know I can play offline, and just playing it. Everything nowadays is just fast, and instant gratification. So why not have a platform that is PC based that is also instant? Windows is meant for cavemen, in my opinion. The only thing that it's good at most of the time is editing, but it's based on a flawed infrastructure. Now, this is where Mac comes in. There are some games that are starting to be compatible with Mac OS, and I do think Mac OS is a great operating system. But when it comes to my gaming needs, unfortunately, Windows is the leading role in that department. But after seeing the potential of the Steam Deck, I was willing to pay anything to play my games on there, not because it's portable, I can do that with a laptop, but because I don't have to deal with Windows. And I cannot overstate enough how much I hate Windows. Windows has caused me to get so many gray hairs since I was 9 years old. I remember family members getting the cops called on them because Windows 95 was frustrating them so much. And yes, that is a true story. Windows has been causing pain for gamers since the beginning of its life. It's a double-edged sword because it started the trend of PC gaming. And I remember playing Resident Evil 2 on PC and trying to get down those keyboard controls and making a little fun game out of it to see how good I was at Resident Evil with my friends on a keyboard. Steam Deck is doing so much more for gaming than the Nintendo Switch ever did or will do because it's PC-based. And it is incredible.
What do you mean incredible?
It's not only making laptops obsolete, it's also making PC game developers more responsible and liable. And that's something I honestly thought would never happen. I really thought I would die before I saw developers like Capcom take responsibility for Resident Evil 5. And I'm not going to sit here and just ignore the fact that laptops and desktops can have incredibly impressive results when it comes to performance. But from the days of working at Micro Center and building PCs for people, which were about $7,000 to $9,000, and just seeing them come back I just realized that a lot of PC gamers only do it for show. They don't do it because they love games and love playing a specific game. They just jump on a game, jump out after about 10 minutes of playing at 240 hertz, and then just go to another game. I've had so many friends on Steam that just go online, offline, playing this, playing that, playing that. And it's clear they were only checking the performance of each game. They weren't actually getting into an experience, but rather just impressing themselves with what their $7,000 gaming rig could do. Now, my first gaming rig had a GTX 980 Ti GPU, an i7-6800 CPU, and I called it the Titan. It was about $2,500 to $3,000 of PC specs crammed in there. And that's not counting the 30 terabytes. And I think I was one of the few people to actually start playing my games on PC just to play something, just to have it consistently play and be reliable. And yes, the games were reliable on that. But then I started to run into a lot of issues with just common throwaway games. But that just so happened to be my favorite games. And because of that, I bought a PlayStation 4. Now, I'm not an extremely fickle person. I hold on to things pretty close to the chest, especially when I pay about $3,000 for it. But you know where that $3,000 PC is right now? It's in my mom's house. I gave it to my mom because I just found the portability of a laptop more valuable and less of a time waster. Sure, my PC had a ton of performance and capabilities, but it was also 50 pounds, and I realized that it was sort of outdated. So I needed to upgrade by having a notably less powerful laptop with a 1060 inside of it. And then a couple years later, I ended up getting a laptop with a 3060 inside of it. And it is the Alienware X14, which is the world's thinnest gaming laptop, apparently. And so I started to find a trend. I only gravitate to technology that actually evolves its platform. And even though I have the world's thinnest gaming laptop, I still gravitate to the Steam Deck, because it is truly portable and convenient for gaming, and I could keep it separate from my editing. And that's why most people gravitate to it, especially if they're PC gamers. They just don't see the work in it. And I don't care who you are, I don't care how much money you spend on PC gaming if you're into software engineering like I am. You just don't want to deal with the work. You just want to play a game and have it consistently work, and also have those graphics options for luxury's sake. So when I think of putting in the work, I mostly think of Windows, because if my gaming PC was fully customizable and could have SteamOS right off the bat working exactly the same as it does on Steam Deck, I would just use that. And I remember when I was a teenager, I would always imagine a PC with a sort of console interface. And the Steam Deck has both worlds, the portability and the console interface, with the optional desktop mode. Because at heart, I am a tinkerer, so I do like to mess with some code here and there, or hack or mod software when I get the chance, just to see what I can do. And I can validate that you can pretty much almost do anything. Now, mods still have a ways to go on the platform. I do admit that. But mods in general still have a ways to go. Mods aren't very easy to implement into games nowadays, so you need a specific mod installer for a game, which is more of a pain in the butt just to start up the game and play. You have to remember which mod installer you have for which game. And if you're a PC gamer that has 20 terabytes, you most likely have more than 500 games on there, minimum. So yes, Steam Deck throws away the concept of a laptop altogether for a new Linux-based SteamOS experience, a very different experience than Windows, and Valve's support for this experience and platform is not only responsive, but they consistently seek suggestions and solutions. At the end of the day, not completely Microsoft's fault with being unresponsive and also sending me emails showing Eric Cartman say his main line, or basically hate emails to me because I tell Microsoft off every now and then, and I guess I hurt their feelings. But I'll say this, it is not completely Microsoft's fault. There are too many different types of laptops and PC parts in the last few months alone. Keeping up with all those specifications and variations of parts and laptops is impossible, and you can see that with the support with Aya Neo and One X Player. They're just going down the same rabbit hole and providing us with too many options to the point that they can't even keep up. And I don't want that. I just want one platform to rule them all, which is Steam Deck. But those choices have become a disability for gamers, as well as a strength sometimes, but mostly a disability. PC gamers needed another suitable platform besides waiting 5 to 10 years for a game to finally become compatible with macOS. We have needed a platform outside of Windows for too many years to count. And all I can say is good riddance.
Good riddance.
Now yes, the Nintendo Switch was the first notable stepping stone to portable console gaming, and we do owe a lot to Nintendo for providing that kind of eye-opening and revolutionary experience. And they always provide that kind of experience, most of the time, looking at you, Wii U. They always seem to try something different that makes gamers and PC gamers alike take a step back and actually notice. So regardless of me selling the system because I just thought somebody else would appreciate it more, and I ended up selling it to a woman with a few kids that needed to somehow entertain them. I don't feel bad about selling my Switch at all. I just thought somebody would better utilize the system than me, and I'm pretty sure you guys in the comments are going to say they're probably chewing on the Joy-Cons, throwing the Switch around. Yeah, they probably are. I have no rebuttal to that. But even after all the years of playing games with an extremely powerful laptop and PC, after playing my PC games on the Steam Deck, I don't think I'm ever going to miss Windows. And yes, that sounds like a different topic altogether because Windows is separate from gaming PCs, but they're intertwined and not different at all when you're really getting down to brass tacks. And man, I cannot wait until Linux takes the PC gaming throne because Proton is doing a fantastic job launching the Linux gaming experience. And sure, it could be overhyped because, yay, I can play Devil May Cry 5 portable. But it's really not. It's more of peace of mind and realization. Valve, in my mind, has successfully overthrown the PC landscape, and the Steam Deck is effectively Gabe Newell's swan song and magnum opus, and the ultimate FU to Microsoft. Because as a lot of people know, he used to work for them, and he just doesn't like the way they do things, i.e. spying on people and forcing updates. And after everything they pulled this past year, I have no remorse for Microsoft. Now, I don't know if it's the correct thing to say, but I can't help but feel like Microsoft's PC, laptops, and DirectX in general haven't really progressed since the Xbox 360. I think the reason why people were mostly excited about that system was because it truly felt like an evolution of PC gaming put into a console, with its interface and just performance in general. You didn't even need to install games to have them working better on the 360 because of that DirectX implementation. Since the Xbox 360, they've stayed stagnant, it seems, playing the same old songs since Windows 2000. And to me, the Steam Deck is that huge stepping stone that we've needed as Windows gamers, regardless of hardware specs, for a very long time. The SD is a natural evolution of a laptop, and a laptop is a natural evolution of a desktop, but with the added stability that a laptop and desktop just cannot provide you because of all the countless choices and models. In regards to how the first year of the Steam Deck has been going, it's made more stable progression than a desktop and laptop have made in 10 plus years, and that's factual. Going back to something as limited and ambiguous as a laptop and desktop with all their false promises would be a mistake. And I've made that mistake a few times this week already. If you're low on cash and just want a proper PC platform, which can not only utilize those choices and graphics, but the prices that come with websites like Green Man Gaming and platforms like Steam, which provide you the accessibility and choice somehow coupled with consistency and reliability, then the Steam Deck is your only choice. Getting an Aya Neo strictly for power is the mistake I made when I got into PC gaming. Just seeing the power alone and buying into that, at the end of the day, you're going to realize that's all you're going to get. Power. Not reliability and not consistency. But if you want a laptop for something else, then I suggest something like a Surface. Buying a gaming laptop besides the reason of conformity as a gamer is depriving yourself of the most advanced tech available at a cheap price, and that is the Steam Deck. And let me know what you guys think about the gaming PC landscape and how the Steam Deck has changed your perspective on it. Because after making this video, I'm completely enlightened to the fact that PC gaming is actually accessible again. It hasn't been accessible in so long for me. So, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Later.